another Southwest Airlines Black College Football Classic, and what a classic we have for the first time in the 79-year history of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Elite Championship game determines the overall champion. Today, live from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, it's the champions of the East, Jackson State, taking on Southern, the champs from the West. Hello everybody, George Johnson along with Charles Mann, and I got to tell you, a great poet once said this is the way it's supposed to be, and it is. Number 11 Southern taking on number 15 Jackson State. Both programs have won 3 SWAC titles over the decade, so it's only fitting in the first SWAC championship game we determine the program of the decade. We've got a lot of offense out on the field, and yet this guy right here, he's going to tell you this game's all about D.
It's always all about D, George. You know that. It's always all about D.
An all-pro defensive end is going to tell you that. When you think about Jackson State, this is a team that is very potent offensively, but defensively they've led the SWAC throughout most of the year, and they've got the best player in defense in the SWAC, and that's Tommy Head.
Tommy Head. Get used to saying that name. You'll say it all day. He'll be all over the field. He's always around the football. He's the leading tackler on this team. He also has 5.5 sacks. At
one point this year, Southern led the nation in scoring defense. Then they ran into Florida A&M. They've got a lot of guys out there that can get it done, but at the top of the list is DeMarcus Miller.
DeMarcus Miller, the linebacker coach, Terrence Graves, told me there's one word to describe this kid, and that is relentless. He's only 5'10", 285 pounds. He makes a lot of plays, though.
Relentless, appropriate word for our third member of the broadcast team, and that's Joe Clare, who's standing by down on the sideline. Joe?
Yes, indeed. I'm down here on the field capturing all the pageantry and revelry that is black college football. Birmingham, Alabama is a lovely city. This is the inaugural SWAC championship in their city, so they came out to have a good time. I will be covering the bands, the cheerleaders, shout-outs, all of that kind of stuff. Back to you guys up top.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. You know, earlier this year, Southern beat Jackson State, the 4th straight win over the Tigers. But what's most impressive about Southern, they haven't lost a conference game in 25 outings. They put it on the line against Jackson State. Today's Black College Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And by AutoZone. With more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America, AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Western Union, money transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. The broadcast team, week in and week out, getting it done. And everybody is extremely excited about this game. You've got Southern coming in at 4-0 in the West, 10-1 overall. Their only loss of the season coming at the hands of Florida A&M, who went on to the Division I AA playoffs. Jackson State comes in. They're 4-0 out of the East. They finished the season overall 9-2. Their losses, one being here on BET when they lost to Tennessee State earlier in the year, and their second loss at the hands of the Jaguars of Southern. Southern will receive the football. And you see the series. Jackson State leads the all-time series. 33 wins to 19 losses. They tied once. But as we said earlier this year, it was Southern who came away with the victory. And normally, Southern would be on their way to the Heritage Bowl. They'd be packing. They'd say, hey, listen, we're on our way to Atlanta.
Right.
But this year, they're saying, no way. You're going to have to earn your way into this Heritage Bowl to take on Hampton University. And George, this is how they do it with this game right here.
We should watch this. There's a lot of bad blood out here.
Kerry Bowie fielding the ball at the 6-yard line, fumbled, ran out of bounds at about the 12, and that's where Southern will take over 1st and 10. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Terrence Levy is your quarterback. The starting quarterback, Troy Williams, went down with a dislocated hip against Grambling. First play from scrimmage, fumble on the play, flags come flying in, and it looks like Jackson State may have the football.
It looked like that was just a miscue. I don't know if the handoff was clean. And the officials trying to sort things out. And I'm not exactly sure what they called that.
Looks like a loss of 7 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 17. Shotgun formation for Levy, making his 6th appearance on the season at the quarterback spot. His pass looks like it was broken up by the linebacker Monty Gatlin. It was intended for Antoine Jobert. We look at the starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. You saw the backs. Here's your offensive line. Damon Nivens is a first-team All-SWAC member. So now it's 3rd down. They did pick up a couple of yards on their pass reception. 3rd down, 14. Levy trying to throw across the middle. Pass was dropped by his intended receiver, Michael Hayes. And with that, it'll be now 4th down, and Jackson State holds defensively. There's your starting lineups for Jackson State's defense. Chandler, Tommy Head, Edward Reese, pretty good middle linebacker. Rashard Anderson is a professional prospect, and they say he will be in the NFL next year. Back to punt, Thomas Bushert, the senior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the punt is going to bounce around midfield, and it looks like it was fumbled again. It's loose, and it's picked up by Southern. So the ball has been bouncing all over the place early on in this contest, and right away Southern gets a break as Bradley Pittman picks up the loose ball.
And this should have been just a routine. Now, I don't know if he should have let that ball go or not. In those cases, if you can pick it up cleanly, you pick it up. And of course, in that case, I don't know if the ball could have been picked up very cleanly. So you want to get out of the way of it and yell, you know, to every teammate of yours to stay out of the way, stay clear.
And the penalty will be charged against Southern. So with that, it looks like Jackson State may retain possession of the football. No, it's going to be tacked on after the play.
That's called a dead ball foul, and it's afterwards. And that was Larry Hollins, the wide receiver, freshman wide receiver, who did not handle the football. And Southern, I might add, is it's plus 11, George, on the turnover ratio. Always taking advantage of opportunities, and this is a real opportunity for Terrence Levy.
So Levy, the sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana, has completed 56% of his passes. Back in the shotgun, inside handoff, and he gives it to his tailback Sterling Green, and Green finds no room whatsoever, may have lost a yard. Tommy Head defensively in to make the play.
You know, Southern's offense has averaged 157 yards rushing per game, and they know they need to be able to run the football to keep Jackson State's defense slowed up.
2 receivers split to the right. Levy again in shotgun formation. On the run, and the pass doesn't even get to his intended receiver, Altrevion Jobert.
And we were talking to some of the coaches before the game, and they said that Terrence Levy loves to run the football, and that's what he does. That's his forte. Well, you've got to be able to throw the football in this league as well. And that wasn't a very good pass.
Especially with all the great receivers that we have and great quarterbacks in the and the pass is complete. Anderson comes up to make the pop. Michael Hayes made the catch. There's Rashard Anderson, the senior from Forest, Mississippi. First team All-SWAC. But they only gained 5 yards on the play, so that makes it 4th down.
And this time we have Destry Wright back to receive this punt. And he's got very good hands. They take out the rookie, or the freshman wide receiver, and put Destry Wright back there, who knows what to do when he gets the football.
Thomas Bushard will punt the football. Wright's going to watch it bounce at about the 15-yard line, and it's down at the 14. We take a commercial break. We'll come back with more right after this. Birmingham, Alabama. Mark Washington, your quarterback, very quickly finding his receiver, Sylvester Morris, and Morris will pick up about 8 yards on the play. Mark Washington, the senior from San Antonio, Texas, is your starting quarterback. Second in the nation in passing efficiency this year. As you take a look now at Sylvester Morris, the all-time leading receiver in Jackson State history. 2nd down and 2. Ball is marked at the 23-yard line. I formation behind the Tigers. Fake pitch. They give it to Ducksworth inside. Gillis Wilson. Also DeMarcus Miller involved on the tackle. There's your starting lineup. Brought to you by Western Union. Mark Washington is your quarterback. Destry Wright, the all-time leading rusher in school history, is the tailback. Jeremiah Todd is an all-SWAC selection. Today's starting lineups brought to you by Western Union. 3rd and 2. And the defensive line jumped, and they're going to say they were brought off by the offensive.
You know, that was Jeremiah Todd. Got a little anxious, tried to get after somebody, and came out of his stance.
False start on the offense. It remains 3rd down.
You know, we were talking last night over dinner, and we were talking about what we might see from Southern right off the bat. And, you know, you were saying, hey, they got to throw the ball and they got to get Sylvester Morris right into the game. I said, no, you want to run with Destry. and I guess you were right. You know, we've seen 1 run and 1 pass.
So we're both right so far. Here we are on 3rd down. Let's see how they settle it as they throw it out in the flat. Pass was intended for Daniel Guy. It was too high for him to grab. So that'll make it 4th down as you take a look at Pete Richardson in his 7th season at Southern. 65-16 is his record.
Not bad. 3-time SWAC Coach of the Year in 95, 97, and 98.
He's been coaching for 12 years. Was at Winston-Salem State prior to coming here to Southern. So now Kenny Page will punt the football.
Not a very good punt. Oh, my goodness.
And it takes a Southern bounce, and it remains in Tiger territory.
That was only about a 23? Yeah, 23-yard punt.
23-yard punt. So Southern has great field position at the 41-yard line. Page, who averages 36 yards a punt, well under the average on that one. So it's now 1st and 10 at the 41. Southern, who averages 27 points per game, 344 yards per game total offense. Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense with the quick slant pattern, and it is complete to the wide receiver, Michael Hayes, for a 1st down.
And Michael Hayes looks really big out there. I know he's 6'5", 210, but I mean, he's a big guy out there. And why wouldn't you throw the quick slant here? They fake the inside handoff, and great form there by Terrence Levy as he throws this ball down the field to Michael Hayes.
Pickup of 18 yards, 1st and 10, balls at the 23-yard line. Inside handoff. That one goes to Ryan Lewis. Lewis recovering from an ankle injury that he suffered a couple of weeks ago. forced him to miss a couple of games, and Dane Lewis came in and he replaced him, and now Dane is down with the ankle injury.
How's that go? I don't understand that. And we're looking at a couple of 1,000-yard rushers on both teams. Each one of them have a 1,000-yard rusher.
2nd down and 10. Shotgun formation now for Terrence Levy. Just a sophomore. Hasn't thrown the ball well yet in this ball game. Could have some jitters. Here's a pass. Oh, and it was behind the receiver. It almost intercepted by Anderson.
You know, I was going to say that Rashard Anderson looked like he was in the wrong place until I seen the ball coming directly to him. And Michael Hayes would have to be upset a little bit. He thinks he put a move on Anderson, but maybe Anderson was playing the football. If you look at this replay right here, Michael Hayes makes a nice move inside, but Levy throws the ball outside to a waiting Rashard Anderson. You got to work on his hands there. You can't miss those kind of balls.
I was going to say, we've talked about the fact that he is a pro prospect, and they don't want to see defensive backs dropping balls.
You can't have hands of stone. As you see, he has 3 interceptions on the year. He probably could have 4 or 5 more if we work on softening up those hands a little bit.
Well, he's been invited to play in the Blue-Gray Bowl, and the Senior Bowl, and the Hula Bowl. So he'll get a chance to prove that he's got some hands. 2nd down and 5.
And Southern's been with 4 wides on this series a few times, trying to open up the offense a little bit.
And this time they give it to Lewis.
And he goes backwards for a loss.
Well, for some reason, it looked like the quarterback, Levy, got in his way on the play.
Well, what happened was Levy hands the ball off and then decides to block. Levy's a big guy. Why not block? So he hands the ball off and looks for somebody to hit. And, you know, Levy's a big guy at 6'2", 189 pounds. He said, hey, I can block for the guy.
3rd down and 10. 3 receivers split to the left of Levy, 2 to the right. And he's going to lob this one into the corner, and looked like the pass was intended for Torrey Ingrams.
And we had a little pressure right there.
Let's go down to the field and Joe Claire.
I'm here with the Honorable Bernard Kincaid, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. How does it feel to have the game here?
It is absolutely wonderful, Joe. We have some 50,000 or more fans here, it looks like. The weather is cooperating.
Beautiful.
It is the inaugural game here for SWAC. SWAC has moved its headquarters to Birmingham, and it is just a wonderful game. The excitement is in the air. We have all of the bands here. It is absolutely wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you let me talk to you today, because, you know, a lot of times the man don't want to talk to me. Hey, listen, I'm going to go back to y'all another time, man.
Well, he did spend some time with you. And while you were talking to the mayor, Justin Mattingly just connected on a 41-yard field goal. That now makes him 4 for 7 from that range. 7:55 left here in the first quarter. More right after this.
Wow.
Claire, bring you the first ever SWAC championship game. And here's your scoring drive. 5 plays, 17 yards, and the 41-yard field goal by Mattingly. And there's your head coach. Coach Hughes has finally been given the full-time job here at Jackson State. He was the interim head coach throughout the whole season, but yesterday they named Robert Hughes the permanent head coach here.
And what a fitting honor. 25 years invested in Jackson State, and he's definitely paid his dues and gone up through the ranks. And what a wonderful season Jackson State has had under his tutelage.
So Courtney Harris brings the football out just shy of the 35-yard line, where the Tigers get 1st and 10. There's Mark Washington, who really struggled in the first meeting against Southern. This time they give it inside to one of the top backs in the conference, Destry Wright. He stumbles for a yard. That's the one thing Southern will do, is they will stop the run. Make no mistake about it.
And they'll stop it with number 54. 54, Channing Warner, leads that defense. And everybody's in on it. That's called a gang tackle. That's the way the ball is supposed to be attacked.
So still second down and 10. Right. Rousseau setback. Washington finds his receiving. The pass is complete to Leroy Fields.
And I tell you what, if Southern's defense gives Mark Washington that kind of time to throw the football, Mark Washington's going to do a lot better than he did in their first meeting.
Well, in that first meeting, he was coming off the shoulder injury, didn't throw the ball.
Well, that shoulder injury was his non-throwing shoulder, so.
Yeah, but I'm sure that every time he ran, he felt that shoulder tugging on him.
Or every time he got put down on the ground, which was 7 sacks in that game by Southern's defense. So I think Jackson State has a lot to prove today, including Mark Washington.
10-yard pass play for Washington to Fields, give him a first down. Pass over the middle, pass is caught. And that's the tight end, Kendrick Travis. Just his 3rd reception of the season.
Channing Warner had a chance to disrupt that pass and knock the ball away. And in fact, Travis could not see the ball because of the arm outstretched by Channing Warner. And that's why he bobbled it.
20-yard pickup. Makes it 1st and 10 for Washington and the Tigers. And Mark's going to throw the ball again in the double coverage. Oh, what a catch that would have been. Now, if Sylvester Morris would come down with that one.
You don't want to throw that kind of ball. There was some pressure put on Mark Washington. He throws it anyway. And the reason why he did is because Sylvester Morris makes plays like that all year long for him. And he had a chance to make that one. I think his concentration was a little off, trying to get up past the 2 defenders.
Second down and 10 for Washington. And again, he's going to throw the football. Completes this one to Daniel Guy. Guy stood on his feet. Guy's going to go in. Touchdown! Hey, Guy, it's Daniel Guy. 35-yard touchdown play. And Jackson State, just like that, comes right back and scores 6.
Daniel Guy has only had 25 receptions all season long, but the key stat there, 5 touchdowns. So every 5 times he touches the ball, he scores with it. And this is why, right here, stiff arm right there. Oh, that's embarrassing right there.
Guy's 6th touchdown reception of the year. Brian Reynolds will come in and attempt the PAT, which is up, and it is good. So after surrendering the field goal, Jackson State comes right back and puts 7 on the board with 6:14 left in the first quarter.
Coming up on Lead Story, the new
Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And it looked like Jackson State had caught themselves a flight in that last possession and just flew down the field for 6.
And Darnell Henderson, the left cornerback for Southern, this is textbook, make the tackle. Don't wait, run through the ball carrier. He did not do that, and Daniel Guy gives him the old left-handed stiff arm. 26 receptions and 6 touchdowns. The guy, every time he touches the football, he makes something happen.
That's what we call production. So now, Kerry Bowie will be back deep to receive the kickoff by Brian Reynolds. Bowie, who led the conference in kick returns, averaging 27 yards per return.
Not bad.
His longest on the season, 95 yards, and that good for a touchdown.
Not bad.
Not bad. And this one's going to go out of bounds, and because of it, Southern will have good field position out at the 35-yard line. So we'll see now if Southern can turn some things around. As we said, they've won 25 straight contests in the SWAC. You look at the scoring drive, 5 plays, 65 yards, took just a minute and a half, 35-yard touchdown from Washington to Daniel Guy. You know, last year, Mark Washington threw for 26 touchdowns. That established a record. What did he do this year? He just came out and threw for 27.
That's called consistency and production. Jackson State's offense has averaged 500 yards per game, and you see why. And they have 33 passing touchdowns and 22 rushing touchdowns.
Terrence Levy looking for some consistency. He'll fake the handoff, throw outside to his receiver Hayes. Hayes takes a shot right there from Andre Reed. He falls down at about the 40, pickup of about 5.
Andre Reed, I appreciate his relentlessness. He rushes upfield to rush the passer, turns and runs down the field. But Andre Reed at 6'3", 250, a junior knows better. You got to wrap up when you make that tackle. And he just threw his body in there. Watch.
5-yard pickup for Hayes, and he faked the handoff to Green coming across, and then Levy fumbles the football and has to drop on it, and they lose about 4 yards on the play.
That was too good a fake, George. Way too good a fake.
And that was the play before the last one.
This is where you see Reed there coming up, just giving him a shoulder instead of wrapping him up.
You know, defensive ends, they figure they can just knock anybody down, right?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Figure they can give them a shot, and they're going down. 3rd down and 9.
5 receivers. Southern is really opening the game up here.
Levy tries to throw it across the middle, and I don't know if Joe Bear wanted to catch the football.
Well, hey, if you had Tommy Head looking to take your head off, I don't know if you catch it either. That's what we call Wally Gator. Do I want this ball and take the punishment?
Those arms got a little shorter, huh?
Yes.
Oh, with
yes,
the incomplete pass makes it 4th down, and Destry Wright goes back to field another punt. We saw him before the ball game fielding punts, Destry Wright. And he just seems to do it all. He'll take this one at the 16-yard line, looking to get outside. Oh, and there goes one of those close blocks. You've got to get your head in front of that ball player, and there'll probably be a penalty.
There is a penalty
to Jackson State.
There is a penalty. The way you get away from blocking somebody in the back is you yell at them, call their name. Hey! You turn around, and you get smacked in the mouth.
4:35 left here in the first quarter. It's Jackson State leading 7-3. SWAC championship game. Jackson State leads 7-3, and they're knocking on the door. They're inside the 10-yard line. This time they give it to Wright. Wright falls at about the 3-yard line.
I like his
another
style.
First down. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I like his style. He is just one of those hard-nosed runners. Has an eye for the end zone, and he runs north and south.
Coming off a game against Alcorn State, in which he rushed for 189 yards and a touchdown.
He was highly motivated in that game. That game gave him the record, the school record, and so he had a lot of motivation.
He passed Lewis Tillman on the record books at Jackson State. This time, nothing doing, and here comes your man, DeMarcus Miller.
Yeah, big DeMarcus. Now, that joker is bigger than 285 pounds. And I went on the field before the game sizing him up. And I don't know, he got 285 pounds on the backside. Now, when you turn him around in front, you got at least 35 more pounds sitting up in there.
Miller led the club with 17 tackles for a loss, as Reynolds will set up for the field goal attempt. This one will be from 20 yards out. He's 3 of 3 between 20 and 29 yards out. Kick is up. Kick is good. Make it 4 for 4.
All right. I like to see these guys do a good job on special teams, because we've covered the SWAC this year. We've seen some little adventure when it comes to the special teams play.
Both these teams have pretty good kicking units coming in. I mean, when you talk about Brian Reynolds, the place kicker for Jackson State, and Justin Mattingly for Southern, both of them quality place kickers. Kenny Page, not a bad punter, the senior from Jackson. And Thomas Bushert, who has been a first-team SWAC member the 4 years that he's been at Southern.
And he didn't make it this year. He's had some very impressive numbers. He just got edged out. And He's very, very solid.
Well, credit the defense of Southern as they put up the wall after the big play to Sylvester Morris. They could have given up a lot more, and it's almost like you win the battle when you just give up 3 in that instance.
You do, and Southern's defense has to be very, very impressed with the way they shut it down. You know, you get in that red zone, and defenses stiffen up. You know, you don't have as many options on the offense, and they did the right thing, Jackson State, that is, in going to Destry Wright. He's a guy that's gotten it done. Let me give you a little stat that's pretty interesting. So I was doing my little homework. And do homework? Well, you know, you got to work. You know, I'm a student of the game. Yeah, I was doing my homework. Jackson State has run the ball 513 times out of 816 offensive plays. So they're a big play team, but they run the football.
Very balanced football team. You want to have that run as Bowie takes the football out close to the 30-yard line.
You don't think I study the game, huh?
No, I know you do.
Just show
you follow
up.
me up all the time.
Just show up and be wonderful.
I got another number I need for you to digest, George. Tell me what you think.
I just show up and be wonderful. Huh? It ain't that easy, brother.
Not that easy, being and looking wonderful. Huh? Ball's at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. And now they go to the I formation and give it to the deep back. And Edward Reese is there defensively, along with, of course, Andre Reed. Put the stop on Lewis.
Now, we talked about Southern's defense. Jackson State has a pretty solid defense as well. In fact, their defense is #1 in the SWAC. Only gave up 742 yards rushing all season long. That's only 67 yards a game.
15 yards to Alcorn State in their last game. Here's Levy, and the ball is batted down by Andre Reed.
All right, Andre said we don't call his name today. And he's letting us know. It sounds like he heard me there. He's throwing up his hand.
There's your fewest yards allowed. Jackson State #1. Texas Southern, good defense. And Alabama A&M 3rd. You don't want to have Alabama A&M getting their defense going because they do such a good job of keeping the ball on the ground. That's what makes them so effective. 3rd down now and 11. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Good job, boy. Good job. And a nice job by Altravion Jobert to make the catch. And then he turns around and looks at Brian Darton and says, I don't think you can check me.
Well, I don't know if he should be saying that to Brian Darton. Brian Darton is pretty solid. He's got 4 interceptions on the year. And more times than not, Brian Darton will be making some big plays on you.
14-yard pickup. This time they give it to the deep back, Lewis, and Lewis squirts through the hole for about 4 yards. Ryan Lewis, he's a senior from Houston, Texas. He's the leading rusher on the club. Has rushed for over 1,000 yards, as Charles said earlier, averaging 5 yards a carry. He picked up 4 on that one.
And he's only 5'7", so just like on that run, he's able to get underneath the defenders. You don't see him.
This time they pitched it one way, he went the other way. Looking to make a couple of moves, picks up the 1st down. But not a bad play by Anderson to make the tackle.
No, that was a saving tackle by Rashard Anderson. He would have made that play. I think Lewis is in the end zone. A little misdirection there.
When you look at the replay, an even better play by Anderson because he was on his heels when he had to make that tackle.
That's why when I played the game, most of our team had tight jerseys on. You don't want to give the offense or the defense something to be able to grab. You don't want them grabbing at your jersey.
So we've come to the end of the 1st quarter with Jackson State leading 10-3. Is brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? About ready to start the 2nd quarter where Jackson State leads 10-3 in the first ever SWAC championship game. The winner of this one moving on to the Heritage Bowl where they'll play Hampton. That's December 18th at the Georgia Dome.
What a beautiful day for football, huh?
Unbelievable. Beautiful town. They love their football down here. In this great state of Alabama. And the fans have come to Legion Field to see this one. Southern, 1st and 10, inside handoff. And Lewis tried to get to the outside, and Ryan finds little to no room whatsoever. Good play by the linebacker, Monty Gatlin.
And Eric Chandler, the right defensive end, he was down on the ground. I think he twisted his ankle a little bit. He should have actually made the play. And here's the first quarter stats. Look at the rushing yards. Neither one of them impressive, but -6.
And you don't expect just 17 yards rushing from Jackson State with Destry Wright. Levy going to hold on to the football. Finally forced out of bounds, but not until he picks up close to 7 yards.
And that's what he likes to do. And here's the other stats there. Now, time of possession, that's pretty solid there. Penalties already, Jackson State has 3. But the big stat there, the huge one that steps out, is the passing yards, 145 to 46. And that's the big play capability of this Jackson State team. They've been doing that all season long.
Well, remember, they picked up 76 of those yards on that one play to Sylvester Morris. As you say, big play capability. 5-yard pickup for Levy. 3rd down, intercept. Oh, and he dropped the football in and out of the hands of Tommy Head.
Oh, he wants that one back. He wants that one back bad. In fact, it looked like he held it for a second and then could not hold on as he thought about what kind of move I might make. Where will I run the football? The first thing, Tommy, is get it into your hands, hold on to it.
Head, the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. 4th in the conference in tackles.
And he has 26 more tackles than anybody else on his team.
So Bushert will punt the football.
Pooch punt. And it almost worked.
Going to go inside the end zone. Bushert had 7 punts inside the 20 coming into this contest. That one, though, goes into the end zone, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Jackson State. It's going to be important now to see Southern come up defensively and make some plays here, try to keep their football team in the game, because, as you say, Jackson State can strike quickly and put a lot of points on the board. 13:59 left here in the first half. More after this. And welcome back. Destry Wright on 1st down with the carry. And he gets out. Well, actually near the line of scrimmage. He's not going to pick up many yards on that one. 1 yard. Make it 2nd down and 9.
There's Tommy Head over there. Look at Coach Hughes saying, come on now. Those are the kind of plays we need you to make and that you've made all year long.
But that speaks volumes for the intensity of Tommy Head. I mean, it's a play. They still make the play defensively. They still get the football back. He's upset he didn't make the play defensively on the interception. 2nd down and 9. This time they get it to Wright. Oh, nice little move to shake one defender, and he gets a 1st down. He's tripped up.
And not just one defender. That was Channing Warner. He shook. I mean, he, I don't know if Channing was down on the ground picking up his, whatever it is that he lost. But Destry in open field made a nice play to gain 13 yards.
Don't need blocks with moves like this, huh?
And watch this right here. Channing Warner's got the beeline on him. Oh, it's that little man on the line, the white lines. There's like little men running there, grabbing your feet if you don't pick them up.
1st and 10, ball's at just shy of the 35-yard line. Washington almost got popped, lofted it up, and it was almost intercepted. Bradley Pittman had a chance at it and couldn't come down with it. And those are the kind of plays you got to make in games like this.
I could have swore I just said that about Tommy Head, didn't I? Oh, my goodness. Bradley first, he got stiff-armed by Daniel Guy to give up 6. And now you have an opportunity to redeem yourself, and that football must be a little hot.
Let's go down to the field where we got a shout-out or two, right?
We're the Alcorn State University, and we love BET Sports.
Thank you very much.
Did they say they love George Johnson of BET Sports?
The Dancing Girls of Alcorn State. And as you
they
said,
didn't say George Johnson.
No, I'm moving on. Second down and third down.
Oh, you think of BET Sports, you think of George Johnson.
Okay. Ball shy. You know, we've got Coolio in the mix with Mad Sports that we bring you weekly. Third down and 10. Ball shy at the 35-yard line in Washington. In shotgun formation. Fires it out in the flat. Receiver gets away, still on his feet. Pass was complete to Leroy Fields. They love Leroy Fields. They say he reminds them a lot of Morris.
That is amazing, the moves that these guys are putting on the defenders. That should have been a 5-yard pass play, and instead it goes 27 yards. Leroy Fields, that's his 16th reception on the year. Hasn't had very many. He's got a couple of touchdowns.
But when he makes catches, he makes big plays, averaging 18 yards per reception. Gets in the first down inside Jaguar territory. And the snap was high. You've got two guys going back for the football, and Destry Wright will jump on the football and make it second down and long.
And Mark Washington did the smart thing there when they were both running back for the football. It's like, should I dive on this or should I let Destry Wright get on it? He has a little bit more understanding of how to cover up the football. And then look, you have big DeMarcus Miller jumping on you too.
I think that's another reason why he wanted to be there, so DeMarcus didn't jump all over top of him. Second down now and an acre. 34 yards for a first down. Washington popped as he threw the football.
So he was,
and a good play by,
he was popped, huh?
by Gillis Wilson.
Gillis Wilson, all SWAC player, 52 tackles, 8 sacks, and a forced fumble to his credit.
In fact, leads the club in sacks and almost picked up his 9th right here on the season.
Coming off the corner on the blind side right there. Those are the kind you want. When I played the game, every time I went up against a quarterback, you could see me because I was on the left side, and most quarterbacks we faced were right-handed quarterbacks. So.
Third and long, and he decided to just pitch it out to Destry Wright, and they'll pump the football.
There's Bradley Pittman thinking about that interception he could have had.
So back deep to receive the punt is Marlon Alexander. It's Kenny Page, as we said, averaging 36 yards per punt, standing at about the 26-yard line.
And hopefully his second attempt is bigger and better than 23 yards, and it is much better.
That one hangs, and a flag coming in. Ball was loose.
I think the flag is because they didn't give him room to catch the ball, but I'm not sure if he waved fair catch or not. They may pick that flag up.
Flag is down.
You're supposed to give the receiver enough room to catch the ball. I actually think that's enough room. If you don't wave fair catch, you are fair game. And I think this is a bad call. And officials have done a great job over the season, but I think this one might be a bad call.
Well, they're going to step off 15 yards and take it out past the 40-yard line. Let's hear the call.
Ball man to 42. Kick up, interference. 15 yards on that first down.
If I was Coach Hughes, I'd be over there fussing.
Well,
and he is.
Got a little swagger in his step now. So first and 10, ball is at the 42-yard line. Let's see if Levy can get something going offensively for his club. He really has struggled, hasn't thrown the ball well, and there's another pass that was just too far in front of his intended receiver.
And that's exactly what you called it right. It was too far in front. Jobert knew that it was supposed to be like it's almost like a pitch. You're throwing the ball, but it's like a pitch, and it's a screen, if you will. So he catches that behind the line of scrimmage, and then all the offensive linemen and people block downfield, and it's basically a screen to your wide receiver, but Levy threw it across the line of scrimmage.
You got this feeling that what they're doing is trying to give him some quick passes, trying to get him comfortable. Hit quick 5-yarders, quick outs, and he still is not comfortable back in the pocket.
Well, there's a huge difference as we watch this play right there. A slant pass that I don't know if he threw that where he needed to throw that as well.
Haywood Guyon making the catch.
But, you know, it's a difference between coming into a game when a quarterback goes down like 2 weeks ago in the Grambling and the Bayou Classic, and knowing for the next 2 weeks you're going to be the starter.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how well he slept last night.
Again, making his 6th appearance at the quarterback spot. And that play didn't pick up any yards, so it's now 3rd down and 10. Levy over the middle. This time finds his receiver, Hayes. And Hayes is gang tackled again. So with an inability to throw the football downfield, Southern finds itself once again in a punting situation.
And as you watch the replay here, these little underneath routes, this one's to Michael Hayes. He's a big target. You get the ball to him. Tommy Head actually misses the tackle. Tommy Head is covering Michael Hayes. I mean,
you know, Tommy has 8 pass breakups coming into this ball game, so he has shown the ability to cover some guys. Busher,
but he's not a corner.
Yeah, you're right.
That was a zone, actually. It was a zone defense, which created the space for Tommy Head to be covering him.
10:05 left here in our first half. Provided by the AmeriSuites Birmingham Inverness Hotel. This all-suite hotel is perfect for families and groups. The staff's just waiting to serve your next event, so call AmeriSuites at 1-800-833-1516 and make your reservations today. 10:05 left here in the first half. George Johnson along with Charles Mann and Joe Clare as we bring you the first ever SWAC championship game, pitting 2 teams that have won 3 SWAC titles in the 90s. So the team that comes away with this one is going to be able to stick its chest out and say, we are the program of the decade. George Johnson and Charles Mann. There's a disparity here. See, this is how
there's not. No, there's not.
Okay, there you go. See, defensive end from the Washington Redskins. And by the way, congratulations. They're now talking about your name being up. You've been nominated for the Hall of Fame, and that's a great honor. Ducksworth with the carry, and he takes it out near the 40-yard line. Picked up about 17 yards on the play. Boy, when your fullback starts running the ball like that.
Yeah. And there's some bad blood out there. There's a lot of talking, trash talking on the field. Even before the game, as you and I walked around out there, I mean, you could feel it. You know, there's some intensity out there, and a lot of it goes both ways. I mean, there was a little skirmish after they got off the buses yesterday when they were going to a little event, and so
and it looks like we had a mix-up on the snap there.
It only
looked like the center and the quarterback were the ones who
were playing the game by themselves on that one.
Although DeMarcus Miller did a little hopping on that play.
And here you see the play right there. What happens is your center always tries to snap the football every time you see a defender jump. And Chris Hammonds right there says, okay, hey, he jumped. I'm going to snap the ball so we get the offsides, but it wasn't an offsides.
Here's Washington.
Going up top.
Deep again. Looking for his big-time receiver, Morris, and it's overthrown. And Morris thought he was going to be able to once again use Pittman, come back and make the play.
And you see what they're doing. Their game plan is to not necessarily just go after Bradley Pittman, but their game plan is to throw the ball up and let Sylvester Morris go get it. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to win the jump ball.
Well, it looks like they've put Pittman on Morris and said, that's your job for the rest of the day. You've got to stop him. Darnell Henderson being the other cornerback, number 33.
Well, Morris has a 3-inch height advantage over Bradley Pittman, and then he's got some great leaps as well.
3rd down and 8. Wide open receiver was thrown behind him. He had Sylvester Morris wide open and just didn't get it to him.
No, I mean, he was wide open. And that might have been a miscommunication about the route. Mark Washington thought he was going to break out. And, of course, Sylvester Morris is taking this in. And so he breaks right there. I'm not sure if that was, I think that was a quarterback. It looked like Morris ran the right route. It was Mark Washington that was a little off.
So that'll make it 4th down, and Alexander is again back to receive the punt of Page. He'll take this one at the 24, escape a couple of tacklers, and he's finally knocked down. Looks like he may have fumbled the football.
He did. He dropped the ball. Now, it's just a question whether or not he was considered down when the ball came out.
A couple of Jackson State players saying we've got the football, but we're still waiting for a signal from the officials.
They called it down.
And they're going to say Southern retains possession with 8:27 left here in the first half. Jackson State leads this one by 7. Back Legion Field, Levy looking downfield, and there wasn't a receiver anywhere around the football except for Brian Darden, but he doesn't wear Southern's football uniform.
And Levy was just trying to get rid of that ball. Monty Gatlin, the strong side linebacker, was all over him. And then downfield to try to make the play was Brian Darden, the free safety.
Levy has completed just 5 of 15 passes for 46 yards so far here in the first.
And that's not going to win you very many ball games. That will not win you very many ball games.
2nd down and 10. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes, makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern.
And Richard Anderson thinks that there should have been offensive pass interference.
69-yard touchdown play to Michael Hayes. And you got to give a lot of credit to Hayes to go make that play.
Watch this play. Richard Anderson is complaining, thinking he was bumped. He was going up to make the catch. And they might just call that incidental contact. Well, they're not calling it anything, so it was incidental contact. But Richard Anderson feels like he was robbed.
Justin Mattingly in to attempt the point after and tie this football game up at 10 apiece. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up, kick is good.
You just talked about Levy had only thrown for 46 yards. I talk about you can't win football games like that. And just like that, they throw a 69-yard play.
And Michael Hayes, just a sophomore.
He's going to be fantastic. You know what? We're looking at a young Morris. We're looking at a young Sylvester Morris right there.
And Hayes didn't play in 2 games this year and still finished 4th in the conference in receiving.
I mean, that made his 5th TD on the season. He hasn't gotten into the end zone very much, but he does have over 600, well, now 600 yards in catches.
Michael Hayes with his 5th touchdown reception of the season.
And Levy says, just give me some time, give me a little time, and I'll make some plays for you. 2 plays.
Then he goes over to Hayes and says, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Way to go up for the football. Richard Anderson, we'll see how he comes back after that. He is very upset.
22 seconds it took to get back in this football game for Southern. And now Mattingly will kick the football off and back deep. To receive the kick is Courtney Harris.
We've got a game.
And now we're bumping into each other. And Jackson State, great effort right there by Keith Williams to bring the football back out by the 25. It looked like he and Harris had battled with it a little bit, but Williams makes the play. And now he's got to explain to his special teams coach. Didn't mean to get in his way.
And here's the touchdown. Levy has some time to throw the football. And right there, see, as Michael Hayes jumps up to get the ball, he knocks Richard Anderson down. But that's called incidental contact. And it's a 69-yard touchdown reception.
So the ball's at the 25-yard line. 7:50 left here in the second. We're all tied up at 10 apiece. And this is the way it's supposed to be. Points per game, Jackson State first in the conference. Southern second. And it's hard for me to believe with these two defenses that Jackson State's going to score 38 points today.
Well, I mean, I would think that's not going to happen, but you can see the points allowed. Southern is #1, only 16 points allowed, so that means that Jackson State can only get one more touchdown.
Gillis Wilson on the defensive play, making the stop on right, who lost 2 yards on that play. And there's Mark Washington, the senior. Passing efficiency rating is second best in the nation. And now he's very upset because we've got a penalty on the play. And you got a feeling it's going to be charged against the Tigers.
And Jackson State looks a little rattled right now.
They came into this football game extremely confident in the fact
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
I mean, they felt confident in the fact that the numbers were on their side. They were first in points scored, first in passing, first in total offense.
And you see already 5 penalties, and that will kill you every time.
Absolutely.
Drive stopper.
Second down and 17. Washington gets it out in the flat to his receiver, Harris.
Come on, get the hell out of here.
And Harris is brought down near the 31-yard line.
Courtney Harris is a little bitty guy. 5'9", 170 pounds. And if I was out there and I was his size, I'd be telling everyone, look, when you throw me the ball, throw it to the outside so that I can step out of bounds if there's any big guys coming at me.
And Adreese Brown, the junior, who's a first-team All-SWAC selection on the defense, made the stop and slammed him down out of bounds. Here's Washington. Quick pass outside. Receiver.
And I don't know if he got to the first down marker. I don't see how they spot this. They could be punting this ball away.
And he's going to be shy by a yard.
Both teams are running these receiver screens, if you will. The receiver on the line of scrimmage steps back, catches the ball, and then he gets some blocking because both teams have great receivers that can run after the catch. But he did not get the first down. They're going to have to punt.
So Kenny Page will come back in to punt the football. And that gives Alexander another chance at a return.
And it puts the ball back in Southern's hand with about 5 minutes left to go before halftime.
Nothing flashy about Southern. They just get it done. They've got a solid coach in Pete Richardson. And just when you think they're out of it, they aren't. Ask Grambling. Alexander with the catch, probably returned it about a yard or two, so that's where it'll be 1st and 10 for Southern, just outside the 20. We go to commercial break, and as we go, let's take a look at our McDonald's trivia question. Today's trivia question is brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And between the SWAC and MEAC, which conference leads all time? Where here's our McDonald's trivia question. Between the SWAC and MEAC, which conference leads all time in Heritage Bowl wins? Your answer, the SWAC, 6-2. And the Heritage Bowl is next week down in Georgia. Hampton is already slated to be there. By the way, this McDonald's trivia question was brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? So Robert Hughes being consoled by the officials with those penalties that his team is picking up. Say, Coach, I'm sorry, we got to call them.
5 penalties, 100 yards. That's 20 yards a pop. A couple of those penalties happened on special teams plays, which are huge chunks of yardage given up when you cause a penalty on a special teams play.
1st and 10. Ball's at the 22-yard line for Southern. They just tied the football game up. And now, on the fake, and then the delayed handoff to Ryan Lewis, they pick up a 1st down.
I think that was the Statue of Liberty play. And Terrence Levy did his best impersonation of it. You know, you act like you're going to throw the ball, and then you turn around and hand it to Ryan Lewis, who, I tell you, a lot of his yardage is gotten because he's so small and you don't see him.
Picked up 9 yards on that carry. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. Oh my, Ryan Lewis goes 69 yards, and folks, that was gorgeous.
You like that, huh?
I sure did.
Great job right here of Ryan Lewis getting ahead of steam up, and when he gets into the open field, look at this run. He's incredible. Switching hands with the football and running. You're not going to catch him. You are not going to catch him.
69-yard run for Ryan Lewis, and how about this? Kicks up, kicks good. And Southern comes back with 14 unanswered points and takes the lead 17-10 over Jackson State.
And there was a little bobble of Terrence Levy getting the football handed off to Ryan Lewis, but once he got it, look out. And he's got some quicks. 69 yards. He had a longer run than that during the season of 71 yards. But I don't know if it was any prettier than that one right there.
Reports coming into the football game was that Lewis was just at 80% from the ankle injury. Boy, I hate to see him running the football at 100%.
And here's some of the downfield blocking by the receivers. When you break a big run like that, you have some help from your teammates. And the receivers did a great job of blocking down the field.
And if you think about it, that play started almost like another muff. I mean, the snap was high. As you take a look at the numbers for Ryan Lewis, but the snap was high, kind of bobbled, and they still were able to make the big play despite it. So Courtney Harris now deep for Jackson State, who at one point looked like they were in control, and now they're scrambling just to get back in it.
I think Jackson State is stunned. Mark Washington is going to have to get his team together, and they're going to have to sustain some kind of a drive or make something happen with 4:23 left before the half, or they may be out of this game. See, Jackson State has won most of their games impressively by large margins.
25-yard line after the season. Touchdown.
And Southern, on the other hand, has not won their games very impressively and have had to fight and battle to win their games. But what that does is that builds character on your team. You never get down. You never think you're out of the game. So Robert Hughes, Coach Hughes of Jackson State, has to do a good job of making sure he keeps the energy level of his team at a high and don't let them get down.
Keep in mind they have 3 seniors on this team that can make plays, and Wright, Morris, and Mark Washington, their quarterback. Here's Washington throwing over the middle. There's Morris with the catch. And those are 2 of the guys I talked about that can make plays, and they do right there.
And he threw that into double coverage, and Morris comes up with the play. I mean, Morris really not taking anything away from Mark Washington, but Sylvester Morris makes Washington look real good.
18-yard pickup for the senior combination as the clock continues to roll. We approach 4 minutes left here in the first half.
Now, we talked about defense winning this game, and I tell you what, defense may win the football game, but the offense is really making some things happen.
Ball was at the 46, and that was really close to almost the lateral.
Absolutely.
Leroy Fields had to jump back on it, and he's getting a couple of words from Gillis Wilson.
That's the thing about playing in a team format. You know, you have to have all 11 people playing at a high level. And if 1 or 2 guys aren't, it can really throw off the continuity of your team. Right now, Leroy Fields should have made that play. There was nothing wrong with it, and yet he doesn't handle the ball.
They lose 4 yards, so it was a lateral. They lost 4 yards. That makes it 2nd and 14. Daniel Guy makes the quick catch as he tries to get away from Damian Hill, and Hill did a good job just holding on to him until he got some help.
That's exactly what you do, too. If you're Damian Hill, you just hold on and call your boys over.
And you don't let them get away like they have already a couple of times.
That's right. You don't get stiff-armed. Yes. No, you hold on.
So he picks up about 5 yards on the play. That'll make it 3rd down and 9.
And Southern is already starting to rotate their guys. What they do during the course of the game is they rotate their defensive linemen, keeping them fresh.
2:25 still counting. Washington just got rid of that one. Oh, and this time defensively, the Jags are prepared, and it looked like Pittman again back there, and he makes the play this time.
On that particular ball, Sylvester Morris misjudges it. If you've ever played baseball and you're a fielder and you think the ball is going one way, he just misjudged that. If he had kept running straight, he had ran into it. Instead, he tries to cut it short, thinking the ball was coming down, and either it got caught wind or he just misjudged it.
Pittman is really being tested today.
I was going to say he's getting his money's worth, but hopefully he's not getting paid.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I think you can say that. Armstrong is standing at the 10-yard line, and the ball is fielded by Jackson State at the 18, and that ball could have maybe bounced a couple more yards.
You think?
2:05 left here in the first half. 7-point lead for Southern.
How about some
SWAC championship game between Jackson State and Southern. George Johnson along with Charles Mann and Joe Claire.
You see Mark Washington over there talking it over, the coaches, trying to figure out what they can do to keep the continuity up of this high, potent offense they brought in here today.
And yet they're going against a very good defense in Southern, so you can't take anything away from the Jags. They can flat out stop you. And here is Lewis.
And Lewis.
And Lewis falls at about the 22-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 3.
I don't know if they'll be able to fool anybody on that play anymore to Ryan Lewis after that 69-yard romp down the field.
And yet you figure that if you can get away with the play once, you don't care whether you fool anybody else.
That's right. That's right.
And they got away with it. Good for 69 yards and a touchdown. Clock's still rolling. They're not in a hurry. They've got the lead, and they'll take it in the half if they can. Under a minute and a half left. Again, they give it inside. And Lewis continues to find daylight.
And you know why he's having the opportunities that he is having, and there's that ankle again. He gets up limping. He was out. He missed the game against Grambling in the Bayou Classic because of an ankle. And when Andre Reed tackled him, it looked like he may have twisted that ankle a little bit again. And that didn't seem to be bothering him on a 69-yard run.
And Sterling Green now will come in at the running back spot. Keep in mind, their second-string running back, Dane Lewis, also has an ankle injury. He was on crutches throughout the week, and he was listed as day-to-day. Let's go on down to the field and Joe Claire.
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man, Joe Claire, down on the field. I'm with my man, Craig Cason, the executive director of the McDonald's Heritage Bowl. Now, that game is next week in Atlanta, correct?
Absolutely, on December the 18th in the Georgia Dome.
Now, that's going to be – now, the winner from
this game, today's game, Southern and Jackson, we'll give the invitation right after the game for them to come down and play Hampton, who is the MEAC representative in the game.
Now, can the brother get some tickets, or you know, how can I go about getting down to that game?
Well, I tell you, if we got tickets, everything all over the place. You know, you can call down to Atlanta. There's all different ways to do it, but there's plenty of seats available in the upper section right now because that lower bowl is almost gone. But it's going to be exciting.
I'm saying, but I'm with you. Can I get down on the field? Hey, look, let me finish talking to him. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Back to y'all up top, man.
Hey, Joe, you know, ask for 2 more. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern. Good catch right there by Kentrell Plain. Oh, my.
And over on Harold Wooten didn't know where to look. And Plain made a great catch. This was a nice throw by Terrence Levy as well. You know, Harold Wooten was looking for the penalty. He could have gotten flagged on that. Put his hands all over Kentrell Plain.
I don't know the last time I've seen so many balls that have had to be adjusted on, and players have been making the plays. I mean, Hayes made a play, and Sylvester Morris made the play, and Kentrell Plain just makes this one.
What happens in these stadiums is you get the shade situation, and there is shade on the field in spots, and so I think that's what's causing adjustments to be made. The players really aren't seeing the ball in the air.
They picked up 31 yards on that play, and it's at the 41. And so now you're thinking with a minute 7, now maybe we can put more points on. Earlier it was let's just, you know, take some time off the clock. But when you make a play like that, now you're thinking, hey, now maybe we can get down, put ourselves in position for a kick. As you look at our all SWAC team on the offense, and look how many players in this game alone. Jackson State with Wright and Morris.
On offense,
Kevin
it looks
Thomas,
like Jackson State.
And Jeremiah Todd, and why not? They're the #1 offense in the conference. Damon Nivens, the offensive tackle for Southern, the lone Jaguar on the team. Another pass downfield. Oh!
And Harold Wooten just stopped Rashard Anderson from making a great play. They're on the same team. I guess you want to call for the ball like, hey, I got it. And, you know, Rashard Anderson is still pretty hot about Michael Hayes burning him earlier for a big touchdown. He had a chance right here as he's going up for the ball. Watch number 27, Harold Wooten, come in the way. And I think Rashard could have caught that ball, Anderson, but he was worried about coming down on Harold Wooten. Catch the football and hurt Harold Wooten if you have to, but hold on to the football.
Second down. This time Levy whips it out to Michael Hayes, who makes the catch. He'll be shy of a first down as Southern will call timeout.
Tell you what, on the other side of the ball, we've been talking about Bradley Pittman, the right cornerback of Southern, getting his work today. Well, on Jackson State, Rashard Anderson, the all-SWAC player, one of the all-SWAC players, is having his hands full, and Rashard has got hopes of taking it to the next level and going into the NFL. Well, you know, he's dealing with some stuff right now.
When we talked about defense at the top of the show, you guys thought we were joking, but I'm telling you, these two teams have great defenses, and it's reflected by the all-SWAC team. I mean, 4 players from Jackson State, right. 4 players from Southern.
And as you look at the defense, all-SWAC defensive team, all the yellow there are the team, or these are players out on the field right now today.
3rd down and 1 for Levy. This time he gets it out there. Oh, and his receiver couldn't make the catch, and he's sitting there, and that's Hayes saying, hey, bring it up a little bit.
You know, there hasn't been a lot of pressure put on either quarterback consistently. And it's almost like the quarterbacks just, they're both in the shotgun. They catch the ball in the shotgun, and they look downfield, and they're throwing quick passes most of the time. But there's not been a lot of pressure on them. 4th down, do you go for it? You got 45 seconds left on the clock. Well, you know you can't make,
you got a yard.
You can't make a field goal from here. You go for it, absolutely.
Let's see what happens. Southern is going for it. Coach Mann made the call. Let's see if they can convert. Levy still on his feet. Ooh, and he took a shot at the 30-yard line. How you doing? And yet he still gets the first down as Edward Reese came up and tackled.
Yes. Yeah. That's what you call a linebacker hit right there. That's what linebackers do.
Levy picks up the first down. So 30 seconds and counting here. And he'll drop the football on the ground. Incomplete pass to stop the clock.
And right now they're looking at, if they were to try to kick this, that would be about a 48-yard field goal. And that's a little bit out of the range of Justin Mattingly.
Mattingly's longest kick this year, 44 yards.
Right. So they need about a 5-yard play in here, and they've got 26 seconds, and they have to stop the clock as well. So if they get a first down, it automatically stops the clock.
Second down. And Levy escapes. Oh, and he couldn't get away.
Great play by Andre Reed. First of all, I was getting ready to get on him because he misses an easy sack. He had Terrence Levy clean initially, couldn't get him down, reaches up, grabs his shoestring, is able to tie it with one hand and take him down. Great play. He's very strong, very strong. He grabs one arm and grabs the shoelace of Levy. Watch this here. Andre Reed, a nice quick move around the outside, comes up, should have tackled him right there, reaches one hand up and grabs his ankle. That's strong.
And what's even bigger about that play is it forced Southern to call their last timeout of the half.
17 seconds left, and Andre Reed, that gives him sack number 13 on the year. Here's the play again. Watch it. Now he's grabbing his ankle. That is strong. That is strong for his 13th sack.
3rd and 12.
And here he comes again.
Levy looking downfield. Ball is knocked down. This time a good play by Anderson.
And this time, safety Harold Wooten just gets out of the way. He runs right past. So evidently Rashard Anderson had a little talk with him like, hey man, cut me some slack. I can make some plays for you. Here's Michael Hayes, got an ISO on him. Rashard Anderson right with him, jumps up and actually tips it so that Harold Wooten could have been behind him to get that.
So now Justin Mattingly's in to attempt a 50-yard field goal.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Might as well try it.
The kick is
not enough leg.
Not going to have enough to get there.
That would have probably made a 42-yarder, which would have given him an extra yard longer than his longest is 44 yards. So just didn't have enough leg.
So with 3 seconds left, Jackson State will come in, and with the big play capabilities they have, you wonder whether Washington's not going to try to make something happen.
You know what? With 3 seconds, why not?
Trailing by 7. As you see Destry right, they're going to bunch things up. So it looks like they're going to be happy with going in at half down by 7. So Southern, who trailed in this ball game 10-3, rallies for 14 unanswered points. And with that, goes into half for the first ever SWAC championship game with a 7-point lead. More right after this. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. This is our final game of the season, and it's time to announce the Southwest Airlines BCF contest winner. Now, we gave you a full season to get those entries in. BCF on BET, it's not just a game, it's a place to watch and win. And winning, Elise Cosnera of Sterling Heights, Michigan, wins a trip for 4 to Disney World, compliments of the airline of choice, Southwest Airlines. She'll be taking the trip with her husband and her children, so congratulations to Elise Cosnera of Sterling Heights, Michigan. It's halftime. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown, makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Lewis came into the football game just 80% from an ankle injury and yet looked pretty healthy on that run, although he did leave late in the first half with a reoccurrence to the ankle injury. More right after this. Along with Charles Mann and Joe Clare, and right now we take a look at our Southwest Airlines halftime stats, and you can see that it looks like Jackson State would be the team that would be on top, at least from the passing situation. But what's surprising is that Destry Wright, who's the second leading rusher in the conference, unable to get it going on the ground.
And that is the big stat as you look at the rushing yards, 24 for Jackson State and 86 for Southern. Southern is, or Jackson State's defense is holding teams only 67 yards rushing per contest, and already at halftime they have 86 yards rushing. That is Southern on this Jackson State defense. So Jackson State's defense is uncharacteristically getting drove down the field when you look at the rushing attack.
Terrence Levy and Southern getting ready for the second half. Today's halftime report has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. We'll have the second half coming your way here on BET right after this.
Cowgirls of the South, and we love Red Sox football on BET. LD one time. LD!
Welcome back. This portion of today's game is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola. And Courtney Harris returns the kickoff to start the second half and takes it out to the 25-yard line, and that's where Jackson State will take over 1st and 10. They trail 17-10. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Joe Clare is the man roaming the sidelines. Robert Hughes' club down, and they felt very confident coming into this game. Despite the fact that they had lost to Southern earlier in the year, they felt with their quarterback Mark Washington nursing the injured shoulder that they weren't the same team back then that they are now. And yet Southern has the lead. So here's Washington giving to Destry Wright.
And Destry has not been able to get anything going. This offensive line, anchored by Jermonji Todd and Kevin Thomas, Chris Hammonds, Frank Wynn, and Lareko Elliott, has just not been able to get any push on big guys like Mr. Mays there, Antonio Mays and DeMarcus Miller and Nathaniel Bell and Gillis Wilson, the Southern's front four.
Wright picks up no yards on that play. And Washington, great pressure by Southern on that play. Coming in, almost untouched. Wilson again. And Gillis has had a pretty good ball game.
He's had a pretty good year.
Absolutely, first team all SWAC selection. 5th on the club in tackles. But coming in, he had 16 tackles for losses. And that was 2nd most on the club. And when you're kind of generating that kind of pressure, although the officials now stuffing off some yards.
Offside. On the defense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
And I believe that was Mr. Wilson there. After we gave him all the accolades, he's the one that jumped off sides. Got a little extra jump there.
Just Southern's 2nd penalty of the game, though. Wright had 30 yards rushing in the first half. Well below his season average. But they've thrown the ball pretty well, and again, they connect Washington to Leroy Fields, and that's good for a 1st down.
And this is what has been the game plan of Jackson State, getting the ball to their receivers, getting the ball in their hands early, and we didn't get to see that replay, but anyway, getting the ball in their hands early and letting them run after the catch.
Washington now has completed 12 of 20 passes in this game. And that's a bad pitch, and Wright had to go back. He's going to try to improvise and throw a pass that was intended for Guy.
That is smart. That is very smart football. Unfortunately, he was the only one thinking that way, and Daniel Guy looked like, what is he doing? He can't do that. Yes, he can, Daniel. That was a very smart play. A bad toss by Mark Washington.
Boy, he took a
and that's a student of the game, though, thinking on the run there.
So instead of losing good 10 to 15 yards on the play, it's now just 2nd down and 10.
That's also smart. Didn't lose any yards.
Passing leaders in the conference. Lionel Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington, second, but he's intercepted right there.
And he threw that right into Ed Reese Brown's hands. I mean, obviously he didn't see Ed Reese, and Brown was sitting in his zone. He actually wasn't sitting. He was moving with the receiver that was about 10 yards behind him. And Mark Washington didn't get a good look at the field. And this is what happens. That play right there is what happens. And he was trying to get that ball to Daniel Guy. What happens when you don't look off a receiver? That means look one way and then turn and throw to the guy you intended to throw to in the first place. If you stare at a receiver, you're going to get picked off.
And for Brown, that's his 4th interception on the season. Gives Southern good field position out at the 47-yard line. Levy trying to throw it in the flat.
And you don't throw balls up like that, Terrence.
Pass was intended for Ryan Lewis.
Reason why you don't throw those up like that, if Ryan Lewis could have gotten underneath it and caught it, he would have taken a nice little wallop while he was unprotected. Get people hurt like that.
Levy in the first half, 9 of 22 for 156 yards. But he did have the big touchdown play to Michael Hayes for 69 yards. That tied the football game up. 2nd down and 10. This time Levy, little shovel pass inside. Lewis, oh, you don't want him out in the open like that.
Who you telling? Brian Darden is saying, oh my God, please, please don't. Somebody come over and help me make this tackle. Don't leave me on an island by myself.
19-yard pickup.
Nice little shovel pass inside. That works when you get the defensive end, in this case Eric Chandler, to run up field and you option the ball or you pitch the ball off of that defensive end that you leave unblocked.
After that pickup of 19 yards, 1st and 10, ball's at the 35. Levy, nice little pump fake, looking downfield. Pass was intended for Jobert. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Terrence Levy, quarterback for Southern, has settled down. He looks a lot sharper than he did in the first half. In fact, we were talking, or I was talking about possibly he didn't sleep well the night before, knowing that he was the man, that he was going to start this game. It wasn't like 2 weeks ago against Grambling where he's sitting there on the sideline relaxing. Next thing you know, he's in the game, and you don't have a chance to get nervous.
This time, they're trying a little reverse, and
guess
good
who was
job
in there?
by
Tommy Head
to break things up. Luckily, Brendan Small was there to pick up the loose ball. When you talked about how that Levy had to fill in, keep in mind he was replacing the starting quarterback, Troy Williams, out with a dislocated hip.
And Ryan Lewis did a bad job there. I don't know if he was supposed to pitch that or he was actually supposed to hand that off. I think he was supposed to hand that ball off.
They lose 6 yards. Levy over the middle. That pass is well overthrown.
And he had Jobert open. He just overthrew him.
So with that, it'll be 4th down and 16 yards to go for a first, so they'll punt the football, and Thomas Buschert will come out.
I think Jackson State dodged a bullet there. Southern, if they could have gotten any kind of points out of that, they would have continued to keep the momentum they established in the first half.
Destry Wright is back deep, but Buschert is a master of putting it in the corner, and he's going for it again. This one's going to bounce into the end zone. And so with that, Jackson State will take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line when we get back from this commercial break. SWAC history that a championship game will decide the overall champion. As we have a brand new quarterback into the ball game, it looks like it's T.C. Taylor.
And that's your boy. T.C. Taylor, that's your boy. He's the second leading rusher on this team.
This time he sticks it in the gut of Damian Ducksworth, and he's going nowhere thanks to Gillis again. Wilson has just been everywhere in this game. We talked about DeMarcus Miller at the top of the game. We forgot that Gillis Wilson is also a first-team All-SWAC selection on defense.
Let's not forget that.
And he's a defensive end. We don't ever forget that, do we?
No,
Mr.
we don't.
Defensive end.
We don't.
I thought.
Once a defensive end, always a defensive end. I don't care if I haven't played any organized football in 5 years. Hey.
T.C. Taylor, the sophomore from Magnolia, Mississippi. 6'4", 218 pounds. He's completed 54% of his passes for this year. 49 for his career.
304 yards rushing. He's very smooth, very silky smooth as he moves and maneuvers with the football. And he'll definitely give this team a little pep. I don't think we've seen the last of Mark Washington, though.
But we've seen this a couple of times where TC will come in to the game. No, last time Mark Washington played against Southern, he completed just 10 of 21 passes for 160 yards and no touchdowns, really struggling.
And here it was. He was sacked 7 times in that ball game. That's DeMarcus Miller there. He fumbled the ball, miscued. That ended up in a safety. He just did not look very sound in that particular game that Southern went on to win 26-14.
If you talk to the people from Jackson State and you ask them about that first loss, the first thing they say is Mark just was not himself in that game. And there he is on the sidelines while T.C. Taylor tries to ignite this offense.
That was supposed to be a quarterback draw, I believe. Didn't get started because of the rush.
The penetration was great. Channing Warner was there also. Wilson, once again.
This offensive line of Jackson State averages Todd 280, Thomas 285, Hammonds 289, Wynn 305, and Elliott 290. They're big guys. They should be able to create some seams or some space in there.
3rd and 12 after a loss of 2. Pass intended for Guy, and it's intercepted.
No, it hit the ground.
Are they going to give it to Overton?
It hit the ground.
Incomplete.
I have great eyes from up here.
Yes, you do. Sean Overton looking for his 4th interception of the season. And yet, because of the incomplete pass, it's 4th and 12, and Southern will still get the football back.
So T.C. Taylor, your boy's first opportunity, doesn't create anything.
And that was close.
It was very close. From that camera angle, it looked like he made the catch.
So back to punt again is Kenny Page. And Marlon Alexander is back to receive the punt. And we have another flag.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, in the first half, Jackson State had 5 penalties, and we showed you 200 yards. That was off. It was actually 5 penalties for 45 yards. But still, it's been, that's 5 penalties too many as far as head coach Robert Hughes is concerned. Nice tight punt.
And this time there was a fair catch signal.
You questioned that last one.
Well, yeah, I questioned the officials because it looked like, you know, you got to give them space to catch the ball, but, you know, don't give them too much.
17-10. Southern leading Jackson State, and they have the ball. Legion Field in Birmingham, Southern with the football and the lead, and they go to
the big guy.
Absolutely, the tight end, and that being Dan Anderson. And Anderson makes his first catch of the year.
Yeah, looking at his stats, and I had no stats for him. When he's in the game, he's mostly there to block.
Yeah, needless to say.
Yeah.
His first catch coming in week number 12. But he got a first down on that one. This time the inside handoff.
And the ball was dropped, and Tommy Head. They've had miscue after miscue. This is the first turnover that Southern has given up in this ball game compared to Jackson State's 2, 1 fumble and 1 interception. But Southern has put the ball on the ground a bunch of times and been able to dodge the bullet. This time, as you look at the replay, Tommy Head, which we said in the open, is always Johnny on the spot, scoops his up. Now he's going to get clowned by his boys getting tackled by the quarterback.
But that's his 6th fumble recovery of the season. The guy's been so active this year. Sacks, fumble recoveries, back coverage. Tommy Head, definitely worthy of the tag Defensive Player of the Year in the SWAC. This time, they try the pitch, and that was a really good play.
That was a great play.
Brown.
That was a great play, being right. You know, when you police or you defend the option, everyone on the defense has a task. One guy has to go after the pitch. One guy has to force the quarterback. You know, you have your other guys have to flow and look ahead, make sure there's not a reverse coming. And they did a great job, Southern's defense did, of doing all that they were supposed to do on that play.
Wright lost 4 yards on that one, making it 2nd and 14, and let's put some more minus signs up. This time, it's Rashawn Matthews.
On Jermonji Todd, and Jermonji Todd just did not look very sound on that play.
Well, Todd is a first-team All-SWAC.
Well, I guess he can be beat too. He just let him go right around the corner on him.
Matthews, the senior from Baton Rouge, with his first sack of the season.
Wow.
And they lose another 8 yards. So that now makes it 3rd down and 22.
This does not look like the same Jackson State offense that we saw in the first half. Even though they only scored 10 points, they still looked very sound offensively.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is. Damian Hill with the interception, his first interception of the season.
We're having a lot of firsts today, huh?
Well, you're getting a lot of guys now who are coming off the bench. They have that 2-tier offense and defense where they get everybody involved, and that allows everybody to make plays. And Damian Hill made a good one right there, the interception of T.C. Taylor's pass.
I think we may have seen the last of T.C. Taylor for a little while. You know, I think they put him in there to provide some kind of spark. And, you know, in this particular game, he hasn't created any of that spark that we're talking about.
Hill, the sophomore from DeSoto, Texas, with the interception. And now Southern has the football, and oh, it's that misdirection again. Lewis trying to get to the outside, use that speed. Tommy Head says, I have a little speed too.
Tommy Head grabbed him with one hand and said, no, you don't. Grabbed him with one hand. Now, of course, granted, you know, Ryan Lewis isn't that big, but gosh, Lee. He said, no, you don't.
Well, when you talk about Ryan Lewis, you talk about a young man who rushed for over 1,000 yards. And despite the fact that he missed 3 games, he is really exciting with the football.
He's very exciting. Scat back, has all the moves and the quickness. Not that big of a guy, but he has a lot of heart. And, of course, the big run in the first half, 69-yard scamp down the field. And that was an all-pro play right there.
After the penalty, the ball is moved back 5 yards. By the way, Lewis has 79 yards rushing.
Great play, great defense right there by Richard Anderson. I think Richard's got a mad on. You know what that is?
No. What's a mad on?
A mad on?
You got your mad on?
You got your mad on, man. You know, you get a couple of bad things, bad breaks happen to you, and you just get a little nastiness. And Richard Anderson may not be as nasty as people might think, but I think he's got a mad on after being out-jumped for the ball by Michael Hayes early in the first half of that 69-yard score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. And that was just poor tackling by Jackson State.
Rashard Anderson had him on the 20-yard line. I talked about that mad on. Well, you can't hand tackle somebody. And what a great individual effort by Michael Hayes. And it all started with the free play right there when Eric Chandler, the defensive end, jumped off sides, and Terrence Levy had the smarts to keep playing. And Michael Hayes, running for glory right here, breaks at least 3 tackles on this play.
And goes 81 yards.
And he's just a sophomore. What a fantastic play. 81 yards.
Michael Hayes now with 187 yards receiving. 169-yard touchdown, 181-yard touchdown.
And Southern's came up with all the big plays. We talked about Jackson State, and they're a big play offense, and they score a bunch of points, and now it's Southern making all the big plays.
Now time for our Circuit City connection. And here it is. And it's Mark Washington looking downfield for Sylvester Morris. The lone big play of the game for Jackson State. Today's connection has been brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store. Alabama, George Johnson, along with Charles Mann, Joe Claire. Joining us now in the booth is one of the great athletes of all time, football, baseball player, Bo Jackson. And good to see you up here in the booth. And
the block.
Wondering if you get here you get here often and hang out in Birmingham?
This is home.
This is home.
This is home. It's born and raised right down the street. So whenever I come back here, everything's cool.
Tell us, what are you here in town for?
The number one thing is to see family and friends, and number two, to talk about the just to talk about the situation of trying to bring one of the spring football teams here.
Spring football. So you're still, all this time, you're still a part of football and still trying to bring football into Birmingham.
Somewhat, yes. Just like I said, this is home, and I think it would be great for the city. It would be great for the fans because, as you know, being in college, you got one side of the state pulling for one side and the other side pulling for the other side.
Right.
This gives the state of Alabama to come together and cheer for one team, and I would like to do that. I would like to spearhead that, to bring it back here, to have some fun, just to show the people here in Alabama and around the country that we are able to support.
Now, there's been commercials, and you're famous for Bo knows everything. What does Bo know about bringing a spring football? Now, this would not compete against the NFL. This is a farm club, if you will.
Oh, yes. What we're doing is actually, it's sort of like the minor leagues of the baseball system.
Okay.
And what we're doing, we aren't trying to make players millionaires. We want to make players, we want to get players to the point to where the NFL coaches and scouts can come down and say, hey, we have been watching him and we would like to give him a shot.
So when you talk about it, it would offer some opportunity for some young men also to keep on playing the game as they still have dreams of moving into the next level.
Offering young guys that didn't make that last week of cutting for the NFL.
Yes.
Give them the opportunity to come down here to hone their skills, sharpen their skills in order to get back to the NFL.
If you put a team in Birmingham, what will it be named?
I really don't know. That's minor.
Okay.
Right now, the thing that we are trying to do is get everything situated, talk to the right people. Right now, we are courting the city right now. We're just dating right now.
And we know that you can make it happen. What do you think about the football game before we let you go?
Well, I tell you what. I just got here. I've been across town doing something else. But
as you look at the score, 24-10.
Well, it looks like somebody's having a lot of fun out there.
Okay.
Bo Jackson, we really appreciate you taking the time to come up and talk to us.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. You all have a nice weekend.
All right.
Bo Jackson up in the booth. Meanwhile, Southern with possession of the football and 3:58 left here in our third. Ryan Lewis had a 15-yard run, and Southern was charged with holding, and then they completed an 11-yard pass.
10 yards.
And so they pick up yet their second penalty of this drive, which takes them back even further to the 30-yard line. They have to get inside Jackson State territory for a first down. 23 yards for a first. There's Altravian Jobert. He's got many years to come here. There he makes the catch and picks up maybe a yard.
All right, you call the guy's name, and then he gets the ball. I think you just like calling his name because he has that little French sounding name. You know,
absolutely.
Altravian Jobert.
Kenyon Smith, the defensive back, came up and made the stop.
And this is the kind of play, this is the play we've been seeing by both teams running, and that is a wide receiver screen, if you will. Let them step behind the line of scrimmage, catch the ball, and have some room to run, because all these receivers are great runners after they catch the football.
Johnson also in on the tackle. Third down. 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. Put it on a rope and got it to Jobert, but he'll still be short of the first down by about 4 yards.
I tell you what, Terrence Levy has really come into his own in this game. He really has started looking very sharp as a quarterback and looks very sound. And this was a very nice pass, and as you say, he had it on a string. He had to get it between the linebacker there and put it in the only spot where Jobert could catch it.
But because they're short, Torrey Thigpen now will be back to receive the punt by Busher, who averages 41 yards per punt. Again, looking for that corner.
And he just found it.
And and it gets into the end zone, but a real nice punt. 2:13 left here in the third quarter. We'll be back with more here on BET right after this. (24-10) Southern leading Jackson State. Accommodations for today's game were provided by the AmeriSuites Birmingham Inverness Hotel. This all-suite hotel is perfect for families and groups. The staff is waiting to serve your next event, so call AmeriSuites at 1-800-833-1516. Make your reservations today.
Bo Jackson looked like he could still play some football, didn't he? I had to hit that man. He was a running back. He looked as big as I do.
He was also a pretty good power hitter, too. He could run those base paths. Like, we used to sit back. I used to work Baltimore Oriole games, and we just time him with our clock to see how quick it took him to get from home plate to first. Washington over the middle. And his receiver.
That's one of those.
Looked like Morris had that one.
Yeah, that's one of those Wally Gator again. You know, you stick your hands out there, you know you're going to get hit, or at least he thought he was, and you don't leave him up there long enough to bring in the ball. Nice route ran. Look at Daniel. This is Daniel Guy here. He thinks he's getting the ball. Actually was not intended for him.
Now Sylvester Morris had the hands, and he usually doesn't drop passes like that.
No, he sure doesn't.
2nd and 10. Ball is at the 20. Washington. This one was too high for Leroy Fields.
That's okay. It was a little high. You got to make that play. He catches that. He can fall forward and get the first down. Instead, it's 3rd down and long.
What does Jackson State have to do to get back, you know, get some kind of consistency offensively?
They can score quick. They can score. This offense can score extremely quick. What's happening now is doubt is setting in. People are not making the plays that they normally make.
And that pass was too high, and it was intended for Torrey Thigpen.
And now Mark Washington is probably second-guessing himself a little bit. They pulled him earlier, put in T.C. Taylor. I don't know if that was a good move or not, because I think what it's done is it's messed with the confidence of Mark Washington. And we saw what happened in the first meeting between these two teams, where Mark Washington did not play well at all. Quarterbacks you have to treat a little differently.
Page, punt to Alexander again, as Southern's defense comes up with yet another stop. They have been outstanding after the first quarter.
What a nice hit. Good lick there.
Johnson comes up and makes the stick from behind. With 1:36 left here in the third quarter, Southern has the football, has a 14-point lead. You're wondering if Jackson State is, you don't want to say they're hitting the panic button yet, but there's still plenty of time to try to put together some drives and put the ball in the hands of a guy like Destry Wright.
I think they have abandoned the run somewhat. You know, they've had some miscues. They try to run the option. The ball ends up on the ground. Destry has not been able to get the 26 yards or so rushing, so you don't think that's effective. But what it does, it is effective, and what it does is it keeps the defense honest. You know, now all they have to do is pin their ears back and rush the quarterback, because you're not running the ball. I would try a play that I haven't seen them run, and a play that's been very successful for Southern is the draw. You know, the draw comes very naturally off of, you know, the play action and throwing the football down the field. All they've done with Destry is a pitch and a option play.
Meanwhile, Terrence Levy has been getting the ball to different receivers, like this guy right here. Guyan makes the catch, picks up good yards after the play, close to a first down, but he's gotten guys like Guyan involved, and Jobert and Hayes. Kentrell Plain has also made some catches, and they've gotten some big runs from Ryan Lewis.
Watch this replay right here. This is like keep away. Guyan is trying to playing keep away from two solid defenders, and neither one of them make the tackle.
Picked up about 6 yards on the play, so they'll make it 2nd down and 4. Again, Jaguars are in no hurry. They lead by 14. And that one is intercepted by Darden. Darden looking for some room, and Guyan will finally drag him down. But nice little interception there by Brian Darden, and maybe that might be the spark that Jackson State needed.
And those are the kinds of plays that this Jackson State team had their hands on in the first half, but didn't make the plays. The difference between winning and losing is one team is able to make plays and the other team is not. Both of these teams have proven, that's why they're here now, that they can make plays. But today, it's been all Southern.
Darden came into the game tied for first in the conference in interceptions. That now his 5th on the season. So Jackson State, for the first time in a couple of drives, aren't deep in their own territory. They've got some room.
Let's see if Mark Washington can do something with it.
Washington trying to get free and nothing doing.
He got a yard and a half.
Coming up was Nathaniel Bell, and Bell.
Actually, the referee put that ball back, and it looks like he may have lost a half a yard. That's a sack for Bell. That's always nice. I keep up with stuff like that because, you know, this is a tackle, but if he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, it's a sack.
2nd down, 10. This time, Morris makes the catch. This time, Morris has some room, and Morris is dragged down at the 30-yard line by Brown.
All you need is a couple of people to make plays. This is a game of plays. In this case, Channing Warner has got a beeline on Mark Washington. Mark stays in there and puts the pass right where it needed to be. And Sylvester Morris gets a nice block from Leroy Fields down the field to pick up a good gain.
35-yard pickup for Sylvester Morris. We go to commercial break. We start the 4th right after this.
And you're watching Flag College Football on BET.
College Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. What a classic we have. The first SWAC Championship football game in the 79-year history of the conference. And Jackson State finds themselves down 14 points as we start the fourth quarter. Sylvester Morris just made the big play for 39 yards. Team is now at the 30, over the middle. Nice catch again, this time by Fields. Well, you got to be impressed with Leroy Fields. They're saying incomplete. But that was in and out of his hands. He got open again. Washington got it to him, and he just couldn't make the catch.
Man, Gillis Wilson put a hit on Mark Washington. Mark Washington is sitting in that pocket and taking some abuse, but he's making sure he's getting the ball down the field, and that's the third drop by Leroy Fields. It's the third drop, George.
Sound like you're in a meeting, a Monday morning meeting.
You got to catch the football.
2nd and 10. They set up the screen to Wright. Wright making a couple of moves, bounces inside the 20, but a flag is thrown. And it's back there where they block it for him.
Yeah, it's thrown in the backfield, and DeMarcus Miller is clapping and staying right where the flag is. I guess he's a designated flag picker-upper. And it's a hold.
Flag it down.
And when you talk about the potential All-Americans this team has, of course, it's Washington and Wright, but how about Sylvester Morris, who not only catches but blocks?
Yeah, look at this. Found a guy. He said, I'm going to stay all over him, and I'm going to hound him and hound him and hound him.
One of the most underrated, I would assume, facets of a receiver, especially when it comes to trying to move to the next level, is being able to block.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 20 after the penalty.
Oh, he's got a man wide open.
Going into the corner. Touchdown! Touchdown, Lawrence Story, the sophomore from Birmingham. And he
wide open. He was open all the way down the field. 6'6", 190-pound sophomore who is really the future of this Jackson State offensive team for the 40-yard score.
His 3rd touchdown reception of the season. His 11th catch.
How do you get back into a game? This is how you get back into a game, making plays.
Reynolds attempting the point after. It's good, and thanks to a 40-yard touchdown play from Mark Washington to Lawrence Story, Jackson State has gotten back in this thing with 14:22 left in the fourth. Earlier in the season as well. So he's been slow to heal, and they really want to get him involved. We talked to Coach Hughes yesterday. He said everybody was healthy.
Yes.
He said the time off we had got everybody healthy again. But when other guys start picking it up like Fields and Guy, it's hard to get Thigpen involved.
Well, let me just say this. With the way Fields has dropped a few balls, I might put Torrey Thigpen in there.
Uh-oh, here comes the defense.
DeMarcus Miller.
And Miller again.
Trying to get that respect.
Miller,
constantly trying to get the respect. Excuse me.
No, he's just been getting it done.
The earlier game we did of Southern on the turf, DeMarcus Miller was our player of the game, and he was all over the place. There you see Torrey Thigpen's numbers.
Thigpen, whose father played at Jackson State and played with head coach Robert Hughes. 3rd down and 10. They're going to the corner of the end zone and looking for Thigpen, and it's overthrown.
No, that was what exactly Mark Washington tried to do. You know, he had the heat coming, the rush coming by Nathaniel Bell, who actually is former high school teammate of with Sylvester Morris, and they had words the other day going into a luncheon that they had. So this is a heated rivalry. And the players, each team really wants to win this thing to get the bragging rights.
Jackson State, 4th in the conference when it comes to field goal success rate. Thanks to this young man, Brian Reynolds, who's out to attempt a 32-yard field goal. Kick is up, kick is good. Brian Reynolds connects from 33 yards out. Jackson State pulls yet even closer to Southern. It's 24-20. It's becoming extremely exciting.
This is a great football game.
We knew it would be, though. And Torrey Thigpen got us out of our seats.
And this is the punt return by Torrey Thigpen. We were just talking about we haven't seen him. He breaks 2 tackles and runs up the sideline. He has great blocking, but gets pushed out of bounds on about the 1-yard line.
And touchdown Jackson State.
Mark
Washington decided to hold on to the football and got the short touchdown run to give Jackson State the 2-point lead.
And as you look to that one sideline, one stands on one side of the field is going crazy, and it's real quiet on the other side. And it's amazing how the momentum has swung one way and then back to the other.
You made that comment 2 commercial breaks ago, that you saw momentum slowly making its way across the field.
It is amazing. It is amazing. The game is a game of momentum swings.
And Brian Reynolds again converts the point after. Reynolds has been just solid kicking the football.
And a few minutes ago, it was 24-10. And now Jackson State has scored just like Southern scored earlier. We have 17 unanswered points.
82-yard return for Torrey Thigpen sets up the 1-yard touchdown run by Mark Washington. And Brian Reynolds tacks on the point after to give them a 3-point lead, 27-24. 9:19 left here in our football game.
There's still a lot of football left.
But if you're Southern, you're thinking, now we've got to start to put something together. It looked like they were protecting the lead prior. Right. Now they've got to attack it.
Well, the positive things for Southern, as we look at the yards per game that Jackson State has been able to rack up, which is just unheard of, 500 yards per game. Southern has been in these kind of battles all year long, and yet they, were able to overcome these battles. And so there's no worry or concern over on their sidelines. They're only a field goal down, 9 minutes to go, and a lot riding on this thing.
Carey Bowie back. Reynolds, nice kick right there.
He is pumped up. That's his best kick of the. I'll say is his best kick of the year. They've been kicking him out of bounds and kicking him down to the 20-yard line. This one goes 2 or 3 yards deep in the end zone, and it's all because he is so pumped up. He has kicked a field goal, and as you see him, and what does that mean? What does that mean, George? I've been gone a while. You slit in somebody's throat. What does that mean?
I thought that was illegal.
It's all done? What is it?
Oh, this is not the NFL. You're not allowed to slit your throat in the NFL. But he hasn't gotten there yet, he would tell you.
Yeah.
So let's see how Southern answers the call, because the fans now on Jackson State side starting to get awful loud over there. They're waving pom-poms and getting that defense fired up. That little inside pitch goes to Lewis.
And there's a penalty on the play. And I believe it's a hold.
But what's scary right now is I think Tommy Head is sitting down on the ground grabbing his ankle.
Look like to me he's grabbing his calf.
Okay. Yes.
And it's like he's got a cramp. And I could be wrong, but it seems as though he's grabbing his calf. Either he strained it or it's just a cramp. You see that big knot right there? See that muscle? They grabbed his hand. That's a knot. And the way they're doing his foot like that, he's got a cramp. What happens is when you play in these games and it's a little warmer than it's been, if you've been playing in cold and then all of a sudden it gets warm, and it's been pretty comfortable here, you get dehydrated and you begin to cramp up. And that's exactly what's happening there. As you see his back, looked like a horse and kicked him in the back of his leg.
And the way Tommy Head goes, which is all out every time,
all
it's
out.
Easy to
to recognize the fact that he might not take a drink every now and then. He's just ready to get back out on the field.
That's right.
Loss of 10 yards on the play.
Boy, things did not look good on this series for Southern.
Holding penalty was charged to Southern, so here they are, 1st and 10, deep in their own territory, and we've got a couple of guys jumping early. Levy across the middle, pass was intended for Jobert, was way too high.
And on that play right there, they're starting to, Jackson State is starting to try to do a little something to Southern in terms of window dressing. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say window dressing, George?
Letting you think one thing and giving you another.
Good job. Good job. That's exactly what happened on that play.
I feel very proud of myself.
No, I'm proud of you too. Kenyon Smith showed like he was in a soft zone, which is what Jackson State has been playing. And at the last second, he ran up and got on Jobert and pressed him in a man coverage.
2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made right there by Hayes.
And that's respect right there. All that is right there. What made that play right there is respect. Rashard Anderson has respect for Michael Hayes. He gave him about 10 yards and said, okay, I'm with you. But you know what? I'm not going to, you can beat me short all day. I ain't letting you beat me down the field deep.
They picked up 18 yards on the play, so that makes it 3rd down and 2.
This is crucial. This is a lot is riding on this play right here.
And because of it, they take a timeout. We will also. With 8:14 left here in the football game, Jackson State leads by 3. Southern on the move. Absolutely. Robert Hughes and Pete Richardson, both quality men on the sideline and guiding their team to the SWAC Championship, the first ever. And on 3rd down and 2, they give it inside to Ryan Lewis.
And it depends on where they spot this ball now, whether that's a 1st down or not. That was a smart play, but looks like they're going to put that shy of the 30-yard line, which would make them short. It would come up to 4th down and inches. What will they do? It's still plenty of time, 7:53 left, and Coach Pete Richardson is going to have to make a decision. He definitely can't go for it on 4th down. That would be like suicide. But you've got to, if you punt it, you've got to tell your defense, hey, you've got to get the ball back for us and get it back for us quick.
And they've done a good job defensively. Let's face it, Jackson State has gotten their opportunities off a punt return, off turnovers. And so it's not like the offense has been moving the ball up and down. You put the ball back into their hands and say, defense, do what you've been doing all game.
Absolutely. And it definitely is short. Boy, I've got some great eyes.
You've seen 1st down opportunities time in and time out.
Yes, I have.
For a long time. So Robert Hughes is standing on one side wondering, now what's up Pete's sleeve right now? What's he thinking? He's thinking punt.
No, Pete Richardson, yeah, he's definitely thinking punt. You know, what I've found from watching and talking to people on his staff, he is going to do the right thing, and the right thing is to punt the football.
Now, Brian Darton is back to receive the punt. We've seen a couple of guys. We've seen Destry Wright. We've seen Tory Thigpen.
We've seen the fake, and it didn't
work. They're not going to get it.
I could not believe he tried a fake. That's why why you saw Brian Darton back there was because Jackson State left their defense on the field instead of bringing out their special teams unit to play for the fake. So Robert Hughes wins that battle of the coaches on that little chess match. And this game is nothing but a chess match. Here's a replay. Fumbling the snap. That has happened so much today.
And Edward Reese, the junior, was not fooled whatsoever.
And Calvin Mills, that's the fullback, the starting fullback, who's handled the football. And now Destry Wright. Now look at it. Destry Wright hasn't run the ball very good all game long because there haven't been any holes. But what happens is momentum changes, players get down, teams get down mentally, and if you're mentally down, that's when you get hit.
Shannon Smith made the hit on Wright, as you can see, finished the regular season 2nd in the conference in rushing.
You have over 1,600 yards rushing and you finished 2nd. That's amazing.
That speaks volumes for the quality of players here in the SWAC. Right again with the carry as they were in a 2nd down and 3 situation.
That's a great situation to be in. You pop off 7 yards on 1st down and a 2nd down and 3. You've got options. You can run the ball, you can throw the ball, that's a wasted down. You can do anything you want with that down. They opted to run it again. They're trying to take the time off the clock.
3rd down, less than a yard. Washington's going to keep it like he did to give Jackson State the lead with the quarterback sneak.
There's a penalty, a flag on the line of scrimmage, which normally means somebody moved.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. It remains 3rd down.
And you could see the face of Robert Hughes. He saw it, and that's one of those that irk you.
That's an Achilles heel of this team. If there's any negative on this Jackson State team, it is that they shoot themselves in the foot often with bad penalties at the wrong time.
Clock continues to roll as we approach the 6-minute mark here. Southern has to come up with a defensive play, and Mark Washington calls timeout.
And Mark Washington has run 2 quarterback sneaks in this game towards the end. You want your leader to have the ball in his hand. We'll take a break and come right back after this.
Having the ball with the Jackson State cheerleaders. What's up, yo? This is black college football at its finest. I'm about to go join the rest of the party. Y'all do the rest of the commentary. I'm out. Peace and love. I'm gone.
Wait. You mean you're through for the day?
He got a nice little gig.
We still have 5:56 left.
He got a nice little gig.
Oh, they got a serious grub down there if he's done working. Serious grub. 3rd down and 6. After the penalty, Washington back to pass, and the pass is overthrown.
So that 5-yard penalty
really hurt them. They went looking for their tight end, Kendrick Travis, and it was overthrown. So now they're in 4th down and 6. Are they close enough to try the field goal attempt?
Oh, yes.
And Reynolds has really been kicking the football well. We just saw him put the football in the end zone on the kickoff. So he's pumped.
He is pumped, and that's what it's going to take to put this ball through the uprights.
Some pump, huh?
Now, right where he's at right now, this will be a 40-yard field goal, just a little bit over 40 yards.
His longest this year is 41.
So this is definitely possible. Snap is good. The kick is up.
On driver. Yes, sir. Woo! Yes, sir. Look at him. Blazing. Blazing.
I would never think that I would be sitting here on national TV talking about how great the special teams has been today after what we've witnessed this season.
But there was talk before the game that the kicking game may play a big part in this one.
In fact, I thought, did we put that on the air? Because we were definitely talking about that.
Absolutely. And these guys really
that the game would be so close that the kicking game, the special teams, would win it. On special teams, has been responsible for an 81-yard scamper by Torrey Thigpen and several field goals. We did one game where a field goal wasn't even attempted in the whole game.
Jackson State has scored 20 unanswered points as you take a look at the scoring quarter by quarter.
And this is the same thing that Southern did to Grambling 2 weeks ago in the Bayou Classic,
where they came back from a 31-10 deficit at half.
And scored 27 unanswered points.
So now here's our situation. Southern trails by 6. They now have to score a touchdown. They have to score a touchdown. 5:42 left in the football game. Reynolds kicking off.
He's still juiced.
And there
goes to the 4-yard line.
Trying to keep it away from Bowie.
And that was a big run, 26 yards.
Nice little return there by Byron Minor. And Minor gives his team pretty good field position. They're out close to the 30-yard line. So now your coach, Richardson, been struggling, haven't thrown the ball downfield a whole lot. Levy has shown a strong arm at times, Lewis has run the ball well. What are you doing to attack Jackson State?
Michael Hayes and Ryan Lewis. You got to dance with the ones you brought. These are the guys that you've been making it with all game, all season long. Why get away from it? Throw that ball up to the big receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Boy, what a dance, what a dance. What a dance. You said, let's go dance with him. Let's dance with him.
Hey, did I call that or what?
Unbelievable. You were just rather calm over there. I lost it.
I'm scared of myself. I don't know.
Unbelievable. Hayes has this ability to break tackles, and he's showing it.
He's breaking every. That's 3 tackles he's broke. 4 arm tackles, and he finally gets tired and runs out of bounds. 4 tackles. The guy is big, but he's not that big.
First and goal. Just shy of the 9-yard line. I formation. Oh! Fumble Levy! He kicks it and falls on top of it.
Oh, my goodness.
What a big play there.
That is a huge play.
Unforced error.
That is a huge play. They lose 9-10. They lose at least 12 yards on that play. And we got to show you. We got to show you the play to Michael Hayes. A quick slant, 1 tackle missed. 2 tackles missed. Actually, that was the 4th tackle missed. Touchdown. Play. Nice setup and throw by Levy, and he throws a great ball down the sideline, wide open to Bates, the senior wide receiver that has not seen much action. Comes up big, and just like that, Southern is ahead 31-30.
25-yard touchdown play to Bates. And that got Southern back into it and gave them an opportunity to take the lead, and they do, thanks to Justin Mattingly's point after.
I tell you what, 20 unanswered points for Jackson State. They blink thinking they got this thing under wraps, and wham, they're out of this thing. Here's the replay again. Nice pass to a wide open Bates.
And it's unbelievable how guys like Bates and Lawrence Story have come into this game. They weren't the headliners. They weren't the guys we were talking about, and they've made big plays. There's Lawrence Story right there. He made a touchdown catch. But Southern, time in and time out, finds ways to win football games.
That's a fantastic game. Hey, inaugural SWAC championship.
Let's do it again.
It's all that.
And yet we still have 4:26 left in the football game. Plenty of time.
Shoot, we might get 10 more points scored. We might get 10 more points scored one way or the other.
Here's Courtney Harris. Harris looking to get to the outside. And he's tripped up at about the 30-yard line.
Or Damon Rogers.
So now let's see how Jackson State answers the call. And with the 3 big-time players that they have offensively, this is exactly the kind of situation you want to see them in.
Just seconds ago, their sideline is relaxed. They're happy. Everything is going their way in the 4th quarter.
Well, I hope Joe Claire's still working, because we still got plenty of stuff to talk about.
That food he was going to get from the Jackson State fans, they taking it back.
1st and 10. Washington looking to set up the screen. In and out of the hands of Destry Wright, and a little late hit by Brown.
Yeah,
they're in a little conversation.
Yeah, I told you there's a lot of bad blood here, and Ed Reese Brown tries to hit Destry Wright, not tries, hits Destry Wright after the play. And there were words. Man, this is a fantastic game. Crowd is in it. Nobody's going to leave here anyway because they got the Battle of the Bands after the game.
2nd and 10 for Washington. 4-10.
Wide open. Wide open. Daniel Guy
makes the catch and gets out of bounds.
Wide open.
Wow. Nice throw, nice catch, good play to get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And Tyshawn Evans.
And a penalty being tagged on after the play.
Huh.
And I told you they're going to tag some yardage on there. And now it's going to be important for Southern. You know, you think about these two teams, they have been two of the classier teams when it comes to winning football games. Jackson State has won 15 SWAC championships, Southern 17. Each has won 3 here in the 90s. So this is the battle between the programs of the decade. In the 80s, Jackson State won 7 titles in the 80s. They won 3 in the 70s.
Yeah.
They won 2 in the 60s. Southern, though, has won their fair share as well. And Southern's been winning championships since the 30s here in the SWAC. 1st and 10. Washington over the middle with intercepted. Brown.
And that could be the ball game. That could be. It's 3:52 left in this game. There's plenty of time.
Mark Washington looking over the middle.
He had all day to throw the ball. He had all day to throw the ball, but he does not put enough on that ball to get it past Ed Reese Brown. And he comes up with a big play.
First team all SWAC selection.
I think he knocked the wind out of himself when he landed on that football.
Well, so far today's player of the game has got to be Mr. Michael Hayes.
Now, why would you say that?
Why would I say that with 226 yards receiving?
266.
266, excuse me.
8 receptions.
That's why.
2 touchdowns.
So why are you asking me if you have all the answers?
Well, I just wanted
you have all the answers.
I just wanted to hear you say it, you know. I want you to explain it to those folks out there listening.
You did a much better job than I did. Could have. Brown gets up, he walks off the field.
He just got the wind. You ever got the wind knocked out of you?
Yes.
Now, what were you doing that you got the wind knocked out of you?
That's none of your business.
I want to know what you were doing.
None of your business. None of your business.
What you doing?
3:52.
AutoZone player of the game.
So our AutoZone player of the game is Michael Hayes with 8 receptions, 266 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And that was
the last one was unbelievable.
No-brainer.
Broke tackles, got downfield. I mean, that wasn't even a touchdown, the last reception, but it was a big-time play. Here's the first time he scored.
This is the highlight.
69-yard
right
play.
Here.
Hayes came in the 4th leading receiver.
Breaks tackles all over the place. Look at that. Amazing.
Today's player of the game been brought to you by AutoZone.
Missed tackles everywhere. He runs and doesn't expect to get tackled. That's the difference between him and other receivers. Michael Hayes.
Player of the game brought to you by AutoZone. The more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. So congratulations to Michael Hayes, your AutoZone player of the game. And They still got some football. They've still got some football to play. You figure they needed, what, 2-3 first downs to try to ice this thing.
Yeah, and Jackson State, they need to go 3 and out.
Inside handoff. You know they're going to keep it on the ground. Ryan Lewis.
And he picks up at least 5 on that play. If you're going to try to have a chance at getting the ball in your offense's hand one more time, you can't give them 5-6 yards on a running play.
And with that carry unofficially, he is 1 yard shy of 100 yards for the game.
He doesn't have 100 yards. And he got 69 on 1 pop. Defensively, with a score of 31-30, you don't think the defense has done much, but I tell you what, it has been a nice defensive battle. And there's close to a first down right there.
Three minutes left. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. As they go to Jobert on the outside. Great play made by Anderson.
Nice play.
Good tackle by Rashard Anderson to stop Jobert short of the first down.
And so the punting team, I guarantee you, they will punt the ball this time. There won't be a fake. And so Jackson State, at 2 minutes and 17 seconds left, still have a chance.
While we wait for the punt, I'd like to thank all the names that you see down in the lower half of your screen. Without those folks, we would not get this broadcast done. Quality folks who bring you black college football here on BET.
I'll tell you what, it's been, this was my first experience of doing color analyst work. BET gave me an opportunity to work with you for these 5 games. It's been fantastic. I appreciate you walking me through this thing and holding my hand.
Yeah, I started walking, and next thing I know, you were grabbing me and running down the hallway.
It's been a lot of fun. I tell you, I've learned a lot about black college football. I went to the University of Nevada at Reno.
Not a black,
a little different football.
A little different.
But I've got a real sound respect for the game, and there are some fantastic athletes.
And they do contribute to the National Football League, where you made your name as an all-pro defensive end for the Washington Redskins. This has been a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, I have a little bit more appreciation for defense.
Well, then I've done my job, then. I've done my job.
An interior line play.
Guess who's waiting to receive this ball?
Last time we got it, it was 82-yard return.
And look at Jackson State is standing on their feet. Every player is up and watching. No one is sitting down. Guys are standing on the bleachers. This thing is coming down. Who's going to own the 90s in the SWAC?
4 championships in a decade.
Who's going to own it? 1 point separates them. 2:17 left.
And Bushart's punt is a pretty good one.
It's a nice one.
Drives Thigpen back to the 25.
Ooh.
And great special team coverage that time.
No excitement there. He gets 5 yards. And that was a huge punt.
Donnie Dillon was the man down there, the linebacker, to make the tackle. So here comes Mark Washington. Here comes Sylvester Morris. Here comes Destry Wright.
They got to go 70 yards for a score, for a touchdown, and at least 50 yards for a field goal.
And if they can make that happen, what a legacy they would leave here. They already have left a heck of a legacy here at Jackson State, but if they can make a comeback with 2:04 left, that'll probably outweigh anything they've done individually. It will give them the SWAC title and send them to the Heritage Bowl, which they'll play the Hampton Pirates of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference on December 18th. By the way, the winner of this football game, the coach who wins it, is automatically the SWAC Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Out pattern. Pass was intended for Morris, and looked like he threw that one kind of quick, but the pressure was coming. And Joe Claire has not stopped working. Let's go on back down to Joe.
Yo, I can't stop working. And I just ran into my dog, Doug Williams, at the game. How you feel about the game today?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I wish I was here. We had an opportunity, but we blew it. But it's a good football game.
A wonderful football game, a lot of suspense. How do you rank this against regular college football as opposed to black college football?
But this is college football.
Exactly. That's what I've been trying to tell him the whole game, Doug. Hey, look, I'm going to sit in the back of y'all. Me and Doug about to go party with the rest of the people. All right, I see y'all.
And another interception by Brown.
And I would say that would probably seal the fate. How fitting for a defensive player to put the exclamation point on a fantastic football game. Here you see Mark Washington step back, and what a great play. You cannot continue to throw the ball in double coverage and get away with it.
And no, everyone on the defense knows you're looking for Sylvester Moore.
Absolutely. Why would you go anywhere else? And that's why he found Fields open all day. He couldn't catch the ball, but he found him open. That's why he was able to find Story open for a touchdown, because these guys don't get any mention.
And here's Lewis. Lewis dances for a couple.
There's still a couple of players on this Jackson State football team trying to win. And as you see,
Sylvester Morris says,
and Mark Washington there.
Not feeling good, and Mark right there. You know, you're playing a Southern team, though, that went undefeated in conference play for the 3rd straight year. They've won 4 Heritage Bowls. They're going to be looking for their 5th, if provided they hold on to this victory. Here's Lewis.
And if they go on to play Hampton next week, they've already faced Hampton in a game that we did. And Southern just soundly beat Hampton. So Hampton would have a chance at a rematch, if you will.
And believe me, they're licking their chops thinking about that as well. You know, Joe Taylor and that club.
Oh, yeah. They're right down the way from you.
Not just around the corner. Roy Johnson and Montrell Coley. Dion Hunt, just a monster in the middle. And here's Lewis again. And he's going to fall down as the clock continues to roll. This will be 26 straight wins over a conference opponent for Southern.
That is unheard of. That is unheard of.
Especially in a conference that gives you good teams like Grambling and like Jackson State, like Alabama A&M, although they're new to the conference, but just some of the great teams that have played in the SWAC over the years. And for Southern to maintain the dominance recently that they have is a great attribution to the head coach, Pete Richardson, and his staff, and just the program overall. You can't make it happen just as a coach alone. You need a lot of support, and they get it. When those Southern fans get in their cars and go all the way from New Orleans to Indianapolis, come to Birmingham to support the Jaguar Nation, of course I'm talking about, to get out there and support this team. And there's Pete Richardson right there. Made the adjustments a couple of weeks ago against Grambling to beat Doug Williams' team. Makes the adjustments time in and time out. And because of it, his Jaguars are the SWAC champions a 4th time this decade. Southern wins this one 31-30. For Joe Clare, Charles Mann, there's been a whole lot of fun. Joe standing by on the sideline. You got one last thing for us, Joe.
Man, somebody told me that SWAC stands for Southern Wins another championship, man. There's been suspense, drama, wonderful football game, man. I'm glad that y'all let me be here. I'll see y'all next year, man.
All right, peace out. That's Joe Clare. I'm George Johnson. Charles Mann's been with me all year. Once again, our final score, Southern wins 31-30. They are the program of the decade in the SWAC with this win. Till next year, this is George Johnson saying so long. See you when I see you. Peace.
Today's Black College Football Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And by Circuit City, answers in every department, low prices all over the store. And by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Definitely NFL playoffs.